Hi, I'm Dr. V. Boykin, former single mom, stripper, felon, now keynote speaker, two-time author. I tell the truth about how to navigate challenging personal and professional situations. And I do want to talk about the woman that was riding the metro in D.C. over the 4th of July weekend that found herself surrounded by a group that promotes and feels that white supremacy should be the foundation of this country. I don't really want to debate their tenets. What I do want to call to attention is what was the experience of that woman? Because I'm going to assume that none of those individuals asked her how her day was, made eye contact, said hello. It's an assumption. But even if they did, it's the nonverbals by the uniforms and the purpose of that actual group surrounding her is what I do want to focus in on. Because in the back of her mind, can you imagine what was going on? Will she be safe? Will anyone step up to defend her? Will this escalate into violence? And what it actually feels like to be surrounded by a group that wants you to be less than in terms of access, ownership, and privilege. Many people who consider themselves part of the global majority will never have that experience, will never come close to understanding what it is. In fact, the only time they may actually be in a room where they are not the majority is maybe at like a black comedy show. I mean, and that's such a trite example. But for a black person or a person of color, you just go to work and you have that experience. You go to work and you're the only one, and you don't know who is surrounding you or what their intentions are, as evidenced by the fact that this group covered their face. It could be someone she goes to work with every day. She would never know. So what and why does it matter? It matters because when you are worried in the back of your mind about your actual safety, whether physical safety, emotional safety, or employment safety, just the fact that you are going to be valued in your workplace, you're not as productive. Belonging equals increased productivity equals increased profitability. So as a leader, you have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that your team is diverse enough and inclusive enough to ensure people are the most productive they can be. I guarantee you that woman was probably not doing mathematical equations in her head. I mean, that might be her coping skill. And I guarantee she was much more prepared for that situation than anyone who considers themselves part of the global majority. But leaders, you need to get a big dose of understanding and immerse yourselves in situations where you're not the only, because it will make you more effective and more able to get the most productivity out of your people. If you don't want to do it because you're a good person, that's fine. Let's just talk dollars and cents. Do it because it increases productivity. Make your team inclusive because it increases productivity. It decreases attrition. Because when the tape in your back of the head, in the back of your mind, is only focused on work, first of all, what a privilege. And second, you're going to be that much more dynamic, strategic, and valuable. So just imagine what it was like, and imagine if that was your everyday work experience. Maybe you're not surrounded by people that are openly hostile, but look, we all know what we know, right? You feel it when people aren't on your team. We feel it when people aren't on your side. We feel it when everybody else around you is getting promoted and they have less qualifications, less experience, lower review scores, but they still get the promotion. We feel it when we raise a concern because we think we're being treated differently and we're shown the door. That's the same type of hostility. That's the same vein of hostility. So, leaders, what are you doing to make your workplace more equitable? And are you making decisions based on bias? Are you making decisions based on the exclusion of others? And are you really understanding what the only on your team might actually be feeling and how that impacts their productivity and therefore the bottom line of your company?